Hi, welcome to the Park Moms podcast. We're your hosts, Haley
and Bekah.
This is the place where we laugh and chat about the chaotic bliss of raising young kids.
So whether you're about to take a hot mom walk or start a load of laundry, let's get to yapping.
Let's get to it.
Do. It is 2025.
It is 2025, and we haven't recorded for a long time.
It feels like about a month, right?
Longer than that even. Should we tell the people why it's been so long?
Yeah, you start.
Well, the reason that it's been so long is because we've just gotten so famous that we didn't know how to handle all of the fame. Like, I couldn't go to the grocery store. People were asking for my autograph. Like, people knew stories about me. I was telling on the podcast, and we were just like, how do we navigate this new fame? Mm-hmm. So we just took a few weeks off from the podcast so we could kind of like figure out how we were going to navigate that. So if anyone has tips on like
being famous,
becoming really famous really fast. Okay, no, we're not becoming famous, but you guys can help us become famous by posting. If you ever listen to our podcast, please just like post a little story on your Instagram and just be like, listening to the Park Moms podcast. It helps us so much because really, like, we're not doing advertising. We're really just out here
finding listeners, people that want to come join our Park Mom gang.
Yeah, so if you can just, I don't know, do a little shout out. If you love us, we would love that.
So we're not actually famous. Honestly, we just took like 5 minutes and enjoyed the holidays. Like, I don't know about you guys, but we were both feeling like, okay, I feel like for one, last year, December came really fast. Like, it was like, how is already Christmas? There was just like endless to-do lists. And then like seasonal depression hit hard. Like, it was just like the triple whammy.
Do we want to talk about seasonal depression? Do you know what? Someone should do a podcast episode on how to beat the winter blues.
Oh, yes.
Wait,
go listen to our
we did that.
And we need to listen to our own advice.
No, I'm going to be so transparent right now. I need to go listen to our last podcast because I feel like I had so many good ideas to beat the winter blues, the winter uglies. And fast forward a month later, and I am deep in the winter blues, in the winter uglies. I was telling Bekah before we started recording, I'm just like, I don't know, the holidays, there's like so much going on and you're around family and you have things to look forward to. And then afterwards, your kids all get sick and you get sick and there's nowhere to go and you just kind of feel a little stir crazy. And I'm definitely feeling that. But it is a new week. It's a Monday and I am resetting today. Yeah. And the depression ain't got nothing on me because tomorrow I'm not going to be depressed.
Okay, there we go. She said it.
The depression doesn't win this year, you guys. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's so true. And I think it's also just like the nostalgia of Christmas and taking it all down, like it's kind of like sad and like nice in the same way. It's just like kind of all those feelings. But Haley, you actually did give me one tip last episode that I felt like, I think it was last episode, maybe it's 2 episodes ago, that actually really has helped me because I was kind of feeling like overwhelmed, down in the dumps. Like I think I talked about last episode about like surviving and not thriving. Yeah. And not saying I have it all figured out, but you gave me the tip that I think you heard it from, it's another podcast that we both love. It's called The Bad Broadcast. And she had this girl come on and talked about getting your hormones checked. And so I went and got mine checked by that lady, Brooke.
I did talk about getting your hormones checked.
And it was such good advice because I feel like I like went to her. She already like had like solutions right away. And I've already started implementing some of them. And like some of the solutions she said have already like made a big difference. So
yeah. It really is so crazy as women how much your hormone health is linked to your mental health. And I don't think I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, but I've dealt with anxiety and depression pretty much my whole life. Been on meds for good 13 years. I've tried all the things. I've done the ketamine. I've done the meds. Yeah. And the biggest thing that has made the biggest difference for me is getting my hormones checked, finding out I had hypothyroidism, getting that figured out, trying to like change things for that is so linked to your mental health. Yeah. And so if you're feeling down in the dumps, go get your hormones checked, okay? Yeah. Not sponsored. Always wanted to say that.
Not sponsored, but the episode she actually sent me, it's called You Don't Have to Feel Like Shit, and it's on The Bad Broadcast, so go listen to that. Yes. We're not necessarily the medical experts, but I will say, like, that's already made a big difference. So I'm glad you referenced that to me.
And I also went to Brooke, and I started my regimen today, so fingers crossed that my thyroid figures itself out.
By the next podcast, we will be thriving, glowing.
We will be thriving. Get your hormones checked, ladies. It makes such a big difference, honestly. It sounds so cliche, but get your hormones checked because it leads to your mental health. And as moms, we need to take care of ourselves.
Yes, we're all Park moms here. Like, we are having babies. We're breastfeeding. And so, like, that's kind of what she actually talked to me about. She's like, you've really had the triple whammy. You've got on birth control, you're breastfeeding, plus you just had a baby. So, of course, your hormones are whacked. And so, like, you should feel like yourself. And one thing that really surprised me is like, I'm just going to wait till I'm done breastfeeding. And you're like, no, go now. And you can even start feeling better even if you're still breastfeeding. So that was something helpful for me.
Don't wait. Okay, anyways, It is 2025. It is the time of resolutions and goals. So what are your resolutions? What are your goals?
It's funny because I feel like I used to be like a huge like new year, new me person.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I am as much anymore just because, well, two things. One, I feel like I naturally am always making goals throughout like the year. Like that's just a little bit of my
type
personality.
A. We don't need a new year to like push ourselves and do resets. We're doing that every single day.
But I do feel like the energy of 2025, like it almost feels like a clean slate, and that I like. So I'm like trying to do more like vision boarding and like kind of themes for the year rather than like, here's the 100 goals I'm going to do this year that I probably will never do.
Yeah.
So I would say like my theme for the year is really just being, and it's funny because I've had this theme before. It was my theme in 2020, which is just ironic because 2020 was such a crazy year. But the theme is intentional.
Love
and
that.
just like what I mean by that is really like doing things with like a thought. So like one of that is like intentional time. And I really want to make sure that like I'm very intentional with like the friends I spend time with, my husband, my time with him, my kids, like, and like, I don't know. I'm just going to try to ask myself the question, like if I'm feeling like I'm not really on track, like, is this intentional right now? So like if I'm sitting down with my kid and I'm just like on my phone rather than chatting with him, like, is that like giving intentional time? And then like, I want to do like intentional spending, intentional health, like really focusing on like doing things that are making my health feel better. And then the last one is like intentional spaces. Like I have quite a few rooms in my house that I want to just like cozy up and just like have things. And like, you're so good at this.
You know how I feel about this. I honestly feel like if you're in a rut or like you feel stressed, creating a cozy or like a new space, adding some new artwork, adding something, a new rug like you just did to your home can really like lift your mood.
It does. And it like adds a ton. And I think before I would just like go to the store and buy like random stuff that didn't necessarily have like a home. And what I'm trying to think is like, what is my vision for the space? How do I want to curate it?
You're being intentional.
Being intentional. I'm saving like things on Pinterest and like taking my time to buy things versus just like, I can find a spot for this random piece of artwork I found.
Yeah, like I like this. It could work in my house, but having the intention of like, this is going to go here. It really does make such a big difference.
Looking for specific things. So that's kind of my theme for the year.
I love that.
Intention. You guys should write in if you have like words that you're doing for the year. I always like to do a word. I feel like it makes it a little easier.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to choose a word. I feel like I had one like a few weeks ago when we talked about this. And I forgot what it was.
We'll circle back.
But my goals for this year are, and they're things that I've kind of already been doing, but I'm going to declutter and I'm going to spend less money, which brings us to our episode topic, which is we're not doing a no spend 2025. We're doing a less spend. What are people calling it? Not a no buy, but a low buy.
Low buy. And I also feel like people are also doing a lot of like, just like more sustainability, like not like overconsumption.
Yeah. So last year was a good year. We spent a lot of money on our house. We both did kitchen renovations. We bought a hot tub. There was just a lot of things that we bought that we like pulled from savings. And I got kind of used to this like high price tag of like, oh yeah, because I mean cabinets are, I'm not going to say the price, but they're like a big price for kitchen cabinets.
Yep.
So then you look at all these other little purchases and you're like, yeah, $20, like whatever, $50, whatever. And so I almost got jaded to the amount of money. And towards the end of last year, I was just, which is very unlike me, spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I overspent. And so I'm just like ready to intentionally spend.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do a podcast episode on this because I feel like a lot of people are feeling this way. After the holidays, like the overconsumption, the consumerism, and I work in marketing. So like I get it. I get totally like why companies do this because literally I'm doing it for a company.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of what we want to talk about today is intentional spending and actually realistic ways that you can spend less in 2025 because it's really easy to just be like, I'm going to save money. But if you're not actually like having a few bolded points of how you're tangible things of how you're going to do it, you're not going to get anywhere. So
love it.
I'm very passionate about this if you can't tell, but this year I'm really going to try hard to just like be happy with what I have. And so let's go down our list of the things that we're going to do this year to spend less.
Yeah. We actually
have some like, with what we have.
Yes. We actually have some, I guess, tips and tricks that are actually going to be helpful. And a lot of these, like, I think both of us have thought of and we've seen on TikTok. And honestly, like, they're good ideas. I'm like, okay, this actually would help.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I feel like, and yes, anyways, let's get into this. Okay. So, and I'm going to share a lot of ideas. I feel like you can't do all of them. I feel like if this is something that you do want to do or you're inspired by, try like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
But like there's the small ones. Yeah. Like try 3 or 4. But I'm going to kind of share the ones that I want to do. And if this like speaks to you, if this is something you want to do, then you should try it too. So we're going to go through the list. The first one is I'm going to use things until they're empty. Replacement purchases only. So this is a big one. For example, if you buy a new dry shampoo and you don't like it, but you spent, let's say, $20 on that dry shampoo, don't just go buy another dry shampoo. I'm going to use it until it's gone. Mm-hmm. And the same thing, if I have a concealer that I love, but I'm like, oh, that other concealer looks good, there's no point in buying another one. I have a perfectly good concealer that works, that I like, that I do. And if it is empty and I want to try something else, then I can take that gamble and try something else. But I am not repurchasing an item.
I love it.
Until it is gone, until it is empty. So replacement purchases only is like a big thing I'm going to follow. And I'm going to use things till they're gone, which helps declutter.
I was going to say that goes hand in hand with decluttering because when you actually said this, I was like, okay, this is so golden. So what I did is I went through like my whole like bathroom and makeup drawers. I have like 3 different spots and like realized that I have tons of perfume. I had like the eyebrow wand that I wanted. I had a setting powder and like I had just gathered it over the years, but I'd forgotten I had it. And so I feel like also, like, decluttering and, like, narrowing down what you have makes you realize what you can still use.
No, I feel like decluttering, the first step to spending less money, I would say, is decluttering. Because when you declutter, you realize what you have, you realize what you don't need. And once you get rid of the things that you don't need, you don't want to reclutter because it feels so good to have less. And so this past couple of weeks, I have been decluttering like crazy. And it honestly feels so good. And you don't want to go buy more because you're like, actually, I have everything that I need.
Exactly.
This is going to be really hard. But if I can do this, I'm rewarding myself with an espresso machine at the end of the year. No more to-go coffee or soda. I am drawing a hard line in the sand with this, and this is hard. This is going to be hard for me because I'm like a 1 to twice a week coffee shop goer. And it's not even so much that I love to-go coffee, but I'll go work at a coffee shop.
It's like the experience.
It's the experience. But also when you're a stressed mom and you're going to the park, you like want to go like bring a coffee, but I'm going to do a full year. And if I can make it a full year without going to Starbucks, with the exception of either traveling, because if you're traveling, you can't make coffee at home.
Or like a coffee meetup or something.
Yes. Or if it's a business thing. So these are my exceptions: traveling, business thing, or my birthday.
Yeah.
My birthday,
you gotta
can get my
definitely
birthday coffee.
Get your birthday
Yeah,
coffee.
I have to. Okay, the next thing, and this is going to be the biggest game changer, I think, for me, is I deleted all the shopping apps off of my phone.
This is such a good one. How did you come up with this one? Was it a TikTok?
I think I saw someone talk about this, or I had a friend talk about it, but it is so easy to just like, I have all the apps on my phone. I have H&M, I have Gap, I have Old Navy, I have Nordstrom, I have all these things. So it's like in your free time, you're kind of like scrolling and then you're like, oh, those boots are cute, I'm going to buy those. And it's just like, there's no barrier to entry when all of your shopping apps are directly on your phone connected to your Apple Pay. It's so easy just to like double click that purchase. And so I deleted every single app, including Amazon.
I was going to say Amazon.
Okay, this has already been hard. I've been doing this for about a week now, but like even last night I needed a supplement, and obviously like I'm still going to buy supplements in my low by 2025 because it's a health thing, which is like one of my caveats. But I like had to tell my husband like, hey, can you buy this supplement for me on your Amazon? But my rule is like, okay, I could go on Amazon on my laptop, or I could log into it from my phone.
It's kind of nice asking Camden though, because then it's kind of like another, like you're speaking out loud. So it's another checkpoint of like, do I really need this?
Do I really need this? Because I was buying the most random things on Amazon at the end of the year. Like just like things I was like, oh, I need that. I didn't need it. I really didn't need it.
Yeah.
So deleting the shopping apps, I feel like this is just going to make such a big difference.
That's such a good one. And I feel like it's something you can easily just go do right now. And it's not taking any effort.
Yeah, just go delete them. You don't need them.
Yeah.
And if you really need to buy something, you can re-download it, buy it, and
go
then
on
delete
Safari.
It again. Yeah, go on Safari like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Who uses Safari? I use Chrome.
Oh,
use
really?
Safari?
I use Safari. I am a crazy person. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, we need to do a psych evaluation on you. Just kidding. Okay, the next one I have is something that we've been doing for the past year, actually, is at-home date nights.
That's a good one.
It is so important when you have little kids, and I think we've even talked about this on the podcast. It's so important to like continue dating your spouse because it's so easy to like at the end of the night, you're like, I don't want to go on a date. I want to put on my pajamas and I want to get into bed and I want to scroll on TikTok or I want to like read my Kindle. Date nights are very important, but they're also so expensive. I don't think it's a secret that childcare right now is very expensive. I feel like it's more than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Which like makes sense, inflation. But
even like
ideas,
restaurants too, though. Like
yes,
it just
food
feels
is
like
expensive.
Yeah. Remember when the Cheesecake Factory used to be like, you went there and you're like, oh, I'm treating myself.
Wait, did you grow up in a chain food restaurant family or like a?
We rarely ate out. Like,
Really?
well, like in Morgan, which is like a small town,
Yeah.
like there was no
You're
restaurants.
you're a small town girl.
I don't think, yeah, I'm a small town. I'm a hick.
That was so
Truly.
You're a small town girl.
There were no restaurant. I don't think there was a single restaurant.
You're kidding.
Maybe
I've
like
never thought
Larry's
about that.
Chicken or something like that.
What? We
Yeah.
grew up so differently because my family ate out at least one meal a day.
What?
Oh, and to this day, we still do that.
Okay,
Like
where would you go?
Well, I grew up in San Diego, and there was every restaurant you could think of, like 5 minutes from
But
my
like
house.
there was no like fast casual back then. So like
Yes, sir. What?
no, not fast casual like Zupas type like where you
Oh,
walk
yeah,
through
there
the
was like
line.
El Pollo Loco. There was In-N-Out. There was Chipotle. There was. You didn't grow up with these things.
Chipotle?
I am shook
How
right
much
now.
older am I than you?
You're not
I
older, I
remember when the
think.
first Zupas came out. Like I was like 14. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
You didn't grow up like going to In-N-Out.
No, there's no In-N-Out in Utah until
What about
like
McDonald's?
yeah, but that's fast food.
What
That's
about
not
Del
fast
Taco?
casual. No, fast food, not fast casual.
Okay, there wasn't. Well, okay, we wouldn't eat out a lot of fast
When was
casual.
Chipotle started? Look this up.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, Chipotle was more like we would go to Chipotle a lot in high school. We would
Really?
go to the
Okay,
Macaroni
see, there
Grill a
wasn't like really
lot.
that type. There was Subway.
My family is big foodies though, and they love going out to eat.
Okay, what was your top?
Subway. My top places to go.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Payway.
Ooh, Payway is good.
We were on a first name basis with our local Thai food restaurant.
Okay, love it.
We were just like big food people. Oh, Rocco's Pizza in San Marcos, California. I wonder if it's still there. Rocco's Pizza is the best pizza. We ate out quite a bit.
Yeah, we ate at home. We also weren't like, I feel like we didn't have the funds to go out and eat a lot. So we ate at home like, I would say we ate out once or twice a year.
What?
Yeah,
That is crazy.
it's
to
crazy.
me.
If there was no fast food. And like every once in a while, like
Maybe I'm
as
being
I got
dramatic.
older,
Maybe
there
we
was
didn't eat out
McDonald's
that
and
much.
stuff. But
What
there
about
was,
in high school? Like, would you go out to eat with your friends?
yeah, they had like a few little like $3 lunches you could go get. Like it
Did
was
you guys
like
have a
the student
Chick-fil-A?
special. Chick-fil-A? Are you kidding? No.
I am so confused right now.
There was nothing.
I, like,
they
know-
barely got a McDonald's.
Wait,
They
I
barely
know
got a
that
McDonald's.
you grew up in a small town. For those of you who don't know, Becca grew up in a small town, but I don't think I realized how different our childhoods are until this moment.
There's no Walmart. There's no like nothing. Like there's no stoplights. There's no stoplights.
I am like, I like don't know what to say right now. Where was your prom?
Our prom was in our high school gym. Or actually, maybe like one year we actually rented something in Ogden.
Mine
So
was
we'd
at the
have to go to Ogden in order to get like bigger places. Like we went and did our grocery shopping in Ogden. Like we couldn't. There's no
I don't
grocery
know why
shopping.
I've like never really dove deep into like how different
Our childhoods
all
were.
child like
Maybe that
my
needs to be a
prom was
full
at the
episode.
my prom was at the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown
Really?
San Diego.
Okay, yeah, we
Very
lived different
different.
lives. When did Chick-fil-A start, though? By the way,
And now we live the same life. That's funny. We grew up very differently, and now we live in the same neighborhood, drive the same car, have the same hobbies, go to the same gym.
And
our
what
kids go
led
to the
us
same
here?
school. Going back to what were we talking about? Oh my gosh, I'm like, I just can't get over the whole how different.
well, we'll have to do a deep dive there.
We'll do a deep dive later. We'll have to have people do like a Q&A because it's so different. Okay,
It's different.
going back to at-home date nights.
Why
Be-
did I even go to Cheesecake Factory?
Be intentional about your at-home date nights. Just don't be like, oh, we're going to have an at-home date night. Like, plan something.
Yeah.
Plan something. Actually, a big reason that we bought a hot tub is because instead of just, like, putting on a show at the end of the night, we go into the hot tub and have, like, talks. And my husband's like, can this one not turn into a therapy session? He jokes because it's like you have deep conversations in a hot tub.
You have nothing
Anyways,
else to do besides chat.
yeah, that's like a good example of just like, I don't know, being intentional about your date nights at home and like put the kids down, like have a nice dinner, even like put on a cute outfit if you want to. Like if you want to put on a cute pair of jeans and a top to like have dinner at your kitchen table, why not? Light
Yeah.
a candle, like
Play a
romanticize
game.
it, play
Even
a
if you're
game.
watching a show, but it's like it's date night, like, and we're choosing a movie together versus like binging and being on our
Yes.
phones. Like
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of
Pop
intention
popcorn,
goes a long way.
Do like a new no phone rule.
Yep, I love it.
Okay, this is something that I've never done before, but actually a lady in our neighborhood said that she did it when they were all young moms, and I think it's a good idea and something I'm open to trying is they would take turns They would take turns watching each other's kids for date nights or just like random Saturdays, and they would use poker chips or like are they not
Yeah,
chips?
yeah,
Are they
you're
called
right.
chips?
Yeah,
I've
you're
never
right.
played poker before. And they would like use them almost as money to pay each other.
Oh.
And so they like did this whole thing. So I don't know. I don't know if this would actually work because there's not too many young kids in my neighborhood or like young families.
I
But
feel like the only challenge would be like getting your kids asleep at the other
Yeah,
person's
and
house.
I
So
think
you
they
could
did a
maybe
lot,
do like day dates.
Yeah, like during the day.
Yeah, that's a good
Or,
idea.
Stuff like that. So it's like, hey, if you guys want to go skiing, like bring your kids over to our house. Like we could do it.
We should
could
do it. Let's try it and see how it goes.
But if you are in a neighborhood where you have like lots of friends that have young kids, like you should do that. Even if it's like a lunch date.
Yeah.
If it's a Saturday and you guys trade off doing lunch dates on Saturdays, like you could totally do that.
I love that.
So that's an idea. Okay, my next one is just for the girls. And I'm just going to gloss over this one, but it's menstrual discs. If you can do a menstrual disc, you will save so much money on tampons.
Are you doing one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Love it.
And I honestly love it. I never thought I would be a disc girly, but here I am. And I love it. It's more comfortable. It's easier. I am saving money. Okay. So
and
just like
the
look
environment.
into it. And the environment. It's really for the turtles.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. My next one is, and I saw someone post about this on TikTok and I thought it was a good idea. If you don't spend any money that day, put $20 into savings for something that you're saving up for. So like she was trying to buy a house. And so she was like, every day that I didn't make a purchase that day, I would just directly put $20 into my savings.
I love that.
And it was just inspiration to not spend money that day and really think about your purchases. Because like obviously, guys, like don't take this too seriously. You need to buy toothpaste. You need to buy shampoo. You even need to buy a new pair of jeans when yours don't fit you or when you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like don't completely go cold turkey because that's not sustainable. The whole point of like what we want to get across today is just like really be more intentional about what you're spending.
It's like the unnecessary.
Yes. And like really, because I feel like when you spend more, it's almost like harder to get that dopamine rush. I feel like I was noticing this with myself. Like I used to get really excited when I would buy something and I had a package coming. And then towards the end of the year, I was buying so much that it was like, I was addicted and I needed more and more and more and more to feel, it was like a drug to feel that dopamine rush. And so like you still need to feel that sometimes, especially as a mom. You need to buy yourself like a shirt every now and then. You need to get your hair done. Like if getting your nails done is your motivation to get through that week, do that. Like don't
choose the things you still are going to spend on.
Like still spend money on yourself because like you matter, and like money doesn't buy happiness, but also like money can buy things that bring you joy.
Exactly.
I honestly think that.
Yeah.
So anyways, just a little disclaimer there.
I think like to add to that, it's almost like on social media, it feels like more and more and more and more and more. And like I need the newest and best of everything. Like there's a new color in Uggs, even though I already have a great pair of Uggs. And so I think like it's more like wasteful spending versus, but still doing the things that are going to make you feel like good.
Speaking of, did you do your homework?
Oh, I didn't watch it. Did you?
I watched about half of it. What is it called?
Buy
the
Now?
Netflix series Buy Now. If you need motivation not to spend money on like fast fashion, go watch Buy Now on Netflix because
there's so many good strategies that they get us with.
Yes, and it is crazy. And like I said, I've been in advertising for 10 years and I know the strategies that advertisers are using and I still fall for them. And I literally know them and I use them. So like they work. And anyways, go watch that show because if you need just like inspiration not to spend, then it will really get you. Okay, and then my last one is having a spend day. I love this idea because I feel like towards the end of last year, I was like needing to buy something every day. I'm like, oh, I haven't bought anything today. And so I would like go onto Gap or go onto Amazon and be like, even if it was like a little $9 thing, I wanted to buy something. I saw a girl on TikTok say that she does a spend day every week. So every Sunday is the day that she's getting her stuff she needs from Amazon. She's getting her groceries. She's getting her gas. She's getting this. And I know this isn't like completely attainable or sustainable for everyone. Like I was thinking about it, like if I need gas, I can't wait till Monday to get gas. But kind of like having a day where you spend your money. And she said her spending went down by like 15%.
Yeah.
Just from spending all her money in one day. Because she would wait a whole week. So it's like, okay, say on a Tuesday you see a pair of jeans you really like. Do you still want them by that next, say your spend day is on Sunday, do you still want them by Sunday? If you still want them by Sunday, you can get them.
Yeah.
But like having those days to think about it really takes away that like impulse buying. And so I am still wondering if I'm going to do this because just like as a mom of 3 kids, it doesn't really work to only have one day because sometimes
you could maybe do like your groceries and gas like every day, whenever, and then do like any like purchases that aren't those.
And we kind of try to do this.
necessary.
We try to do most of our purchases on Sunday. Like we'll do our grocery shopping on Sunday. We'll get our gas on Sunday. We'll buy things we need from Amazon on Sunday. And then we'll try not to spend for the rest of the week. But I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting idea, especially she might even said it was more money that she saved. But just spending one day a week. I think she said she literally like cut her spending by 15%.
Okay.
So
You heard
there's a
her
little tip.
first.
I feel like if you were single and you were just like a single girl, this would be a lot easier than if you have other people you have to buy things for.
Exactly. And you also kind of like need to go like do something. So
Yeah,
you
with
go buy
kids.
your milk somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Okay. It's funny that actually it's really good into my next one. Like, this is having like a list of like needs and wants and just keeping a note on your phone and basically just writing anytime you think you want or need something, just write it down and don't buy it for like at least 24 hours. So like, oh, I need XYZ, go put it on the need or want list and then like revisit it. For the needs like every 24 hours and for the wants like once a week or even longer and just kind of like you said, it's not the impulse buy and like, okay, wait, do I still need or want these things?
Yeah.
After thinking about it, rather than just like buying it right as soon as
When
you
I was
see
doing
it.
research for this topic, I saw a girl on TikTok say like, can we normalize wanting things and having wish lists again? Like it's so normal. I feel like it's been normalized to like, oh, I want this new pair of Uggs. I'm going to buy them right now.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to want things for a long time and have wish lists and even have things that you want that you never get.
And like, isn't it kind of nice, like when your birthday comes up or someone wants to get you something and then you actually say, oh yeah, I've been wanting this for a while.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
then you truly want it. And then you know that you'll use it.
Exactly. And I'm sure a lot of these things you'll just end up taking off the list. You wrote these ones down, but haircuts and nails at home, those are super good. Obviously like doing like activities at home, like reading. We talked about this on the last podcast, but Libby's like a really great app to get free books. I actually like sign up for like 6 that I saw that are really popular and you have to wait to get them. But if you like go sign up for them all at once and they'll just start like coming in. You just use your library card for that one. And then, okay, this is like a really easy way to make yourself not buy something is if you read the reviews. Anytime you're like, I want this so bad, go read the reviews, especially the bad ones. And you'll be like, do you know what? I actually don't think I want this anymore.
Just like filter to only the 1-star reviews.
Truly, like you start reading and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, like, am I going to get buyer's remorse from like,
Yeah.
oh, this doesn't fit quite right. Or the color came different than what I thought. Like,
Yeah, do you know what's worse than not spending money? Buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
I truly think that's one of the worst feelings in the world.
It's so bad.
Has there ever been a like time in your life that you've had really bad buyer's remorse?
oh, I'm sure. Can you think of one off the top of your head?
When we first bought our house, this house that we're currently in, and you know, we've completely renovated and demoed
Go
this
watch
house.
Haley's TikTok if you want to see where the before and after.
But,
You'll see
like,
her magic.
Right after we bought it, and it was a big purchase. Obviously, it was the biggest purchase we've ever made. I walked in and I was just like, oh my gosh, what did we do? Like,
Yeah.
what did we do? And this is really weird, but it still smelled like the old owners. And it's still like, I was like, this doesn't feel like my house. And I knew we were going to be renovating it and we had already started renovating it. But I had like a sick feeling in my stomach of just being like, oh my gosh, what did we do? And now that it's 3.5 years later, I could not love my house more. I never want to leave my house. I love my house so much. It's like my
That's good. Your
happy
buyer's
place.
remorse was able to come.
Yes, but I
full
do
circle.
like that feeling. I was just like, and I had 2 little babies. I had like an 18-month-old and a newborn, and I was just like,
What did I do?
holy like, what did I do?
It's scary. And it's also like, especially with big purchases. And actually, it's perfect for my next one is returns. So the nice thing is it's really easy to do returns now. And like a lot of times it's not because you don't want it. It's just like the wrong color, the wrong size, like not what you expected, whatever it is. Like I just keep a little basket in the back of my car for returns. And as soon as I know I don't want something, I put it back there. And anytime I need to like go run an errand or like just get out of the house, I'll go do my returns.
Yeah.
And then I'll screenshot like the codes or whatever if they're Amazon. And like truly, I feel like I've saved so much money. And it's like it's almost just as satisfying of buying something as returning something.
It's girl math. Have you seen the thing where it's like, oh, I returned and I got like $100 today, so I spent $150, so I only spent
That
$50.
It is kind of feel a little bit true. Like
Yeah.
because I don't know, sometimes the returns will pile up and then you'll never return them.
Yeah.
And you just got to do it within the window. And yeah, that's like another way to like make sure you actually use what you're going to buy. I love Nuuly. Both of us have done this before. It's a clothing subscription. One, it's cool because it's sustainable because you're always like buying, I guess, used stuff. This sweater is actually from Nuuly, but
So cute.
isn't it cute?
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. I wish. But there's stuff.
Nuuly, sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsors. Hey, Nuuly.
We've actually gotten a lot of people to do Nuuly. You've gotten a lot of people to do Nuuly.
I love it so much. It's perfect for like postpartum and pregnancy, but it also is just like a good way to try a lot of different clothes and new styles and see what you like. And like I was telling my husband, because I was like watching all these TikToks and not buying, and like most of the things people were buying were clothes. And I'm like, I don't even know the last time I like bought something new. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's because of Nuuly, because I just like it's $100 a month, which sounds like probably a lot, but I feel like because of that, I'm really not buying any other clothes.
Well, and the items you get are very high quality items.
It's coats,
So,
it's seasonal, like it's good for trips.
Yes, I will say if I'm going on a trip, I will use Nuuly, and if I have a special occasion like a wedding, I will use Nuuly because it doesn't make sense to go spend $300 on a dress for a wedding that you're going to wear once.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to wear again. It's actually better to spend $100 and get how many items do you get?
I think you get 6 items.
6 or 7. Sometimes you get a bonus item.
Yeah.
Say 6 or 7 items. I feel like that actually is such a good hack to saving money.
It's such a good hack. And it's like anytime I like see something, like the other day I saw a jacket that I wanted, like this cool leather jacket. I'll go find one similar on Nuuly and like save it.
Yeah.
And then I'll get it with my next purchase.
And if you want to purchase the items that you buy,
they're discounted.
They discount them.
Yeah.
Have you bought stuff from Nuuly?
I do sometimes, but someone gave me advice when I first started it. It was actually Savannah. She's like, don't buy anything because you'll want to wear your next box. So she's like, unless it's like a staple, like then you should buy it. Like a really nice trench coat. Like I got this really cute trench coat that was like $350 for $50.
Yeah, see,
like that kind of stuff.
It's like thrifting and renting all in one.
Yep, exactly.
Which can I just do a little plug for thrifting really quick? Because
we
I
didn't even write
thrifting,
but it's important.
Yes, I love thrifting. I'm a big thrifter, and I just want to give a couple of tips if you're just getting into thrifting. First tip is go often. You can't just go like once a month and think that you're going to like find good things and that you're going to love thrifting. Because I can tell you like probably half of the time I go to a thrift store and I don't find a single thing.
Yeah.
Like it really is a long game. You have to go consistently.
It's also like a little activity. Instead of like going and walking the halls of Target,
and I'll bring my kids to the thrift store because you know what? If they break something at the thrift store, it's $2.
Yeah.
So we go to the thrift store. My kids love it. They love the toy section. It's kind of gross. We do the hand sanitizer afterwards, but we love going to the thrift store. And find a thrift store that you love and kind of like memorize where the good things are. Like I have a specific thrift store that I love and I know where the good little pockets are. And then my second tip, I have a few more, but I'll just do a couple today because I could like do a whole episode about thrifting. Yeah. My second tip, if you're looking for jeans or actually anything, look in the men's section. I promise you anything, even if it's a woman's item, like I've gotten rag and bone jeans from the men's section because they weren't like, they put all the really slim jeans that like aren't super in style right now, I will say, in the women's section. But even if they're women's like Levi's or
or like more baggy fit.
Like 501s or rag and bone jeans, they're going to put them in the men's section. So when you're thrifting, shop the men's section. I've gotten like a Nordstrom trench coat in the men's section. I've gotten so many good things and they're never in the women's section. So I'll just leave you with those 2 tips, but thrifting is a great way to save money. And it's honestly how I dress my little boy is we thrift a lot of his clothes.
It's also nice because it's sustainable. Plus, it also like,
it's also
I love your house. Like it is like so, there's so much character.
Thank you.
And so you're getting things that not everyone has.
Yeah. If you have a home decor item you love, put it on your wish list. Look on Facebook Marketplace and you got to play the long game because I promise you it's going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
I've gotten so many good pieces that are going to be like forever pieces in my home for so cheap.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good advice. Okay, I have 2 more, but one of them is like do what you pay for. So like my examples here is if you pay for a gym pass, go to the gym. When you're bored, don't go shopping, go to the gym. Like that's what you're paying for. Like we both have ski passes, so like going skiing as an activity with friends versus like going to the spa and doing a girls' dinner, or like even going out to get your nails done or something, because like if you're paying for skiing, like use that pass up.
Use it.
We have a car wash pass, and like I know that doesn't sound like the most fun activity, but it's pretty fun. It's something to go do. And so I think like and we also have like a membership to like our local like nonprofit like activity center, museum or whatever. So like that's an activity I can go do with the kids. And so I think like if you already are paying for something, instead of like going and doing something else that's going to cost more money, just like do things you pay for.
Stop the Target trips. Honestly, I feel like as moms, we would spend so much less money. I know it's like, oh, what are we going to do with the kids today? I know it is kind of fun. And I know that we need our Target trips, but I spend so much unnecessary money at Target and your kids want things and like
get a toy every time.
Like just like maybe if you're trying to save money, limit the Target trips.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. A little bit. Because I feel like it makes a big difference.
I completely agree. And I think there'd be a whole episode even just on like like delivery for food versus like going in and like through Costco. Like there's obviously so many different hacks around
grocery pickup. I think I've talked about that on the podcast before, but that's a big way we save money is grocery pickup because you actually see the total. Because like when you're grocery shopping, you're not going around totaling everything up on like your
True,
phone.
that's a good point.
When you actually check out on your phone, you can see like, oh, okay, my total is $150. Do I really need that extra can or that extra case of Diet Cokes? Maybe
Probably not.
You could take those off, or I'll get those at Costco because I know they're cheaper. It's just like a nice way to save money. We have saved so much money on food by doing grocery pickup.
I love that. That's such good advice. Okay. The last thing, this is actually one I saw on TikTok and I just thought it was like so sweet. It kind of like gave me the chills. It's just like kind of manifesting, I guess, a little bit. And by doing, like she said this like exact like verbiage and I really liked it. She says, say to yourself, I have everything I need. So when you start feeling like, okay, I need this, I want this, I need this, just say like in your mind to yourself, I have everything I need. And I just feel like that's such a good like calming thought is like, we always feel like we need more, but it's like, no, I have everything I need.
Yeah. No, and you don't need more. And I will go back and say, like, as a mom, take care of yourself. Make those little purchases that, like, you need to make you happy and feel human, or, like, take care of yourself. Do that activity. Go do the girls' night. Go get pedicures. But you do have everything you need. And, like, just be happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So those are our tips and tricks on a low buy 2025. So if that's your, vision or goal for the year, hopefully these are helpful. If it's not, do not stress. Like I think like I am all about doing what's going to be best for you, best for your mental health, physical health, what's best for your family. You know that. But if you are doing that, here's some good little tips and advice. So speaking of advice, we will end our episode with a Deer Park Moms. I'll read it and then you can start with advice.
And if you guys don't know what Deer Park Moms is, it's just like our little advice column, and we'll try to give advice and hopefully others will give advice too. So
yeah, you can always write in like things you need advice on. You can write in a mom guilt and we won't tell who it's about.
It's anonymous.
A confession. You also could write in like a win that you've had just because we're all in the thick of motherhood. So yes. Okay, here's the question. How do I not expect my family to help when I have toddlers while pregnant? Help with my toddlers while pregnant.
They should help. They should help.
Saying, how do I not?
I know. How do you not? Do they say in-laws?
They just said my family. So I don't know if it's like her husband or if it's like her like extended family.
Okay. I think it's actually okay to just simply ask. I know she's saying like, how do I not expect them to? So I'm just going to say my answer is it's okay. Don't expect it. But I think it's okay to just be like, hey, I'm pregnant. I'm really tired. I'm sick. I'm overwhelmed. Is there any way that you could help me with this? Like, it's okay to ask for help. I honestly think that sometimes families and parents forget how hard it is to have little kids. I think like,
having toddlers and like being pregnant too.
I think sometimes they like forget what it's like and they need a little reminder of like, hey, this is hard. Can you help me out? And if at that point, if you ask nicely and they still don't help you, then get a new family. I'm just kidding.
I'm dying. That is so funny.
What's your real advice? Because I don't know.
I had like a thought in my head when I was pregnant, like whenever we'd go to like my family's house or my husband's family's house, I just like, I'm not doing the dishes. At the end of the day, like someone else can do them. Like I'm pregnant. I'm nauseous. Like it took a lot for me to even come here. So I will do the dishes when I'm not pregnant. And I think like it's kind of our, I guess duty, like when we do see moms with young kids or breastfeeding or pregnant, like that we like kind of step in and help them just because like remembering how hard it is. Cause you do kind of like forget how bad it is. So I think that's one advice. And then the second thing I would say is like, maybe lower your expectations of yourself because you can't force someone to help you. But what you can do is like not do as much.
Take a step back.
Like it is really difficult. So if the laundry's not always getting done, if your kid's hair isn't done, if, there's dishes in the sink, just like some of the things that we hold ourselves to such a high bar.
Yeah.
If you're not getting to the gym, whatever it is, like lower the expectation for yourself. Like if you're watching shows rather than sitting and playing with your kids, that's fine.
Okay. I'm picturing, so like for this specific question too, I'm changing my answer now to changing your family. But like I'm picturing like, okay, it's Christmas, you're pregnant and you have a toddler and your toddler's asking you for a million things and you're like not feeling good and everyone's like enjoying their dinner and you're like entertaining your toddler and you feel like you're not getting adult time. Like I can picture it in my head now. What I would do, and something that I've actually like, guys, I'm not an amazing parent, but something I've done well at, maybe too well, is I've taught my kids that it's okay to ask other adults that we trust for things.
Yeah.
So like if we're in a situation like that and my daughter's like, hey, can you get me this? And I'm helping another one of my children, or I'm sick and I'm pregnant, I'll be like, yeah, can you go ask grandma? And I think it's okay to like let other adults help your kids, but you kind of need to tell your kid like, yeah, go. And obviously, like, I don't know the situation. I don't know how old the toddler is, but if your toddler can ask, like, maybe you just be like, yeah, go ask grandma.
Yeah.
Or like, go ask your uncle. Or like, can uncle,
Or like you can be like, Charlie, help with us.
yeah, can
That's
uncle,
mine.
yeah, like, can Uncle John, I don't have an Uncle John, but like, can Uncle John go help you? Like, it's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help.
And then if they don't help, you really should just like get a new family.
maybe just let things
I'm
go.
just kidding.
I will say, I don't know if this is about like extended family or like your spouse. I will say from like the spouse perspective, I think you have to just like have a real conversation. I don't think it's very easy to understand how hard it is being pregnant.
Yeah.
It's just like,
You can't explain it to someone, and the reality is men will never know, and so you have to tell them. And there's nothing you can compare it to. You can't be like, oh, this is like when you have the flu, because they've never had the flu for 9 months.
it's also never, exactly, it's never ending. Like your energy levels are low. You don't feel good. Like there's anxiety, there's anticipation, there's just all the things. And so I think just being honest and just being like, hey,
asking them.
Ultimately, like right now, this is like all I can do.
Yeah.
Can you step in these specific
And
areas?
don't wait until you're mad and resentful in those
Yeah,
situations.
no.
Sit down when you're calm and you can just be like, hey, I want to talk to you about this, and tell them in a calm way, because if it is your husband, men don't respond to when you're just like, I need more help, I need this. They just think you're being emotional. But if you sit down with them and you're like, hey, I'm pregnant, I need more help with our toddler, like I'm not doing super well, I need you to step up during this time because I'm growing a human, and have it in a calm like manner, I think that goes way farther than waiting until you're mad and then losing it, which I've done.
I completely agree. And then another like subtle hint, you can just send them like TikToks or reels that you see
Of like how hard it is to be
How hard is
pregnant.
he pregnant? Have you seen those where it's like, I want to eat like 5,000 things. It's like you lose 10 years of your life and run a marathon every day.
Or like
something.
it compares it to like running a marathon, or like it compares it to really hard things. Like at the end of the day, men need simple translations. Like they just need simple examples. So if you can find a TikTok that speaks to them, you better send that DM message.
I love it. Awesome. Well, have a great start to January, you guys. We're excited to be back in podcasting. You should hear from us more soon.
Yes, we'll be more consistent, even though we're getting so famous.
Well, and have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.